Yeah. And as you said, because they're so afraid to lose what they currently have, and they have a lot, in many cases, you see many leaders maybe within tech that they have this capability. Not many, but you see it more in tech leadership that said, okay, we founded a tech company, and more or less we're used to change because tech is moving fast. And sometimes you see it less in other places, or maybe it's less known, but I feel that in
Yeah,
tech it's easier to do it.
I think it's a faster to like change and test your product without like, I mean, developers are super expensive, but you can still like put a new product online for free and sort of test it with a few group of audience, whereas it's a bit harder to like have a whole product line or whatever and like sort of get it through different systems to then sort of test it on audiences to then sort of see what's really working and stuff. So it's a bit harder to be that as swift, but just because something's a little bit harder doesn't mean that you should be limited by it. You can still like come up with ideas around not like just sticking with things as they are.
Yeah.
And I think it just gets talked about a bit more, as in like they're probably slightly better at marketing themselves and being like, hey, look at what we did, and sort of writing blogs about it and going on podcasts and things. So maybe we just
Yeah.
hear more about it as well.
Yeah, I think that I read somewhere that we are sure that the most innovative companies are the ones who are B2C, because they're
Yeah.
very known brands, and then we
Yeah,
find them very
exactly.
innovative. And it makes sense because we know them, and they say, wow, this is what Apple did, or something like that.
Yeah.
So what is the most important element of success as you see it?
Well, it depends on how you define success, because you could say like Elon Musk's the most successful person, but like if he actually hates what he's doing the whole time but he just can't stop himself from doing it and isn't happy, then like he wouldn't be a very successful person, kind of thing. But I think the most important thing, it depends on achieving it or enjoying it. I would say it's sort of contentment and peace with what you have. And so, or same with like being wealthy, is that it's not like whether you've achieved X amount of millions and then suddenly you're then classed as wealthy. It's enjoying what you have and being able to sort of comfortably do those things and be spending less money than what you have coming in, ideally with that money coming in ways that like it's just sustainable, and that you're not like having to spend all your time on earning that money, and that is being wealthy. And so success, I think, is getting to a point of wealth where you're using your time creatively to do the things that you want to do, and you're enjoying it. You're not like stressed out. You're not trying to do like 5 things in a day when you've only got time to do one. You're you know what your priorities are, and you're very good at sticking to them and enjoying like a good element of like time for your health, time for social stuff, time to challenge your brain and work on difficult things that excite you. When you're doing that, that's at that point you're successful, I'd say.
Yeah, but when we're saying growth mindset and being outside of your comfort zone, it's
Yeah.
challenging what is your comfort zone all the time,
Mm,
and it's
yeah.
like it's not like being comfortable actually with where you are, because you're growing all the time and trying
Mm,
new things and learning new things, and like it's like the opposite of being an entrepreneur, being relaxed, being
yeah.
like
Well,
at
as
ease.
in, I would say that I get more stressed out when I'm not under like stress, if I'm in my comfort zone, which is kind of good if you want to be constantly growing. It's not perfect if actually sometimes you now know that you're good at something, but you actually have to execute on that for 6 months before like the next sort of challenge in terms of like learning comes up or something. And that can be quite difficult of actually like being able to teach yourself to just stay put and be like, right, I've actually just got to deliver on this. Because if I'm like, oh, I've got like 5 different billion ideas that I want to go and like pursue and challenge myself on. So that can be limiting. But I think just contentment is a very hard thing to learn, and not striving for stuff. So obviously, you need to have an ego, you need to have some like goals and wants in life, but also you need to be kind of stoic and not, your happiness doesn't need to depend on achieving those things. You need to be like happy in the moment and with the flow. And so as in like desire is a contract with yourself to being happy until you achieve something. And you should be achieving things for sure, but you should be able to be like content within your own self, whether you achieve that thing.
Yeah.
So it's like holding two opposing concepts in your head at once is one of the levels of maturity that you need to sort of be able to reach, I think. And it's a
Yeah.
very hard one, but it's important.
Yeah, what you're saying is resonate with me when we're talking about leadership right now, because they need to operate what they're doing. Their company right now needs to be successful, and they have this other edge, this goal, this future, this
Yeah.
vision, and they need to hold both of them, the present and the future, in the same time. And they
Yeah.
need to be successful in both of them, and they're contradicting, right? Because what you will be is not what you are right now, and what is the potential of the company is not what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And the option to hold these two in for a company and for yourself as a person is very challenging. And I feel this is part of what we need to learn on our path. And it could be in my career, it could be with my family life, it could be with my, what I'm doing is like holding these two parts of like, right now I'm content, this is what I want to stay here, I don't want to do
Yeah. Yeah.
anything. And I have this vision, I want to be there. There is, I don't know if you have it, but there is this I think it's from Sesame Street or something, that they have these two monsters, and one of them is like going to the other, and he says, I want to be there, I want to be there. And then he goes to the other direction, and then he goes like, I want to be there, like he
Yeah.
always going to the other direction. And it
Yeah.
reminded me of the same thing, like you're always feeling like this is not exactly as you need to be, and you could be better, or grow or change or something.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things you sort of learn in life. Like I've been to some crazy places, and whenever you get there, it's not as amazing or as sane as you think it's going to be. And then you see so much stuff on Instagram of stuff looking like your life's going to be perfect when you get to Bali, and then like it's still, if you're ever doing anything, it's not that amazing because you're able to do it, kind of thing. It's never quite
Right.
got like the crazy music going on, and nothing's like perfectly cut together. Just like all like the 5 perfect moments that you have over like the entire week, because there's like the whole traveling and all that other stuff in between it. And it's the same with life success and anything that you're doing. It's sort of, there's always other things that seem more appealing at the time than wherever you are, and that's kind of something you got to like deal with. And I think a concept I quite liked is just the term of stress. Like physically speaking, stress is when there's two sort of physical things that want to be in different locations, like opposing each other. And it's the same with like mental stress, as in it's when you want to be in 2 different places at once, or you're trying for different things, and you've got like 2 goals that don't align with each other. So simple option being like your friend invites you to a party, but you're already going to a different party that you kind of want to go to because you've said yes to it, but you don't want to go to it maybe as much as the other one. But then if you're going to the other one, you'd want to be going to the one that you are going to, and it just kind of stresses you out. And like you don't need that stress, but it's the same with wherever you're at with like, if you're running a business, you're like, oh, actually, wouldn't it be so cool if I was running this other type of business, or if I actually just worked for someone, because I'd have a reliable wage and I could just like chill out in the evening and have a weekend. And like whatever you're doing, there's always other things that you're not doing that are going to look nice. And